Hello and welcome back to Best of the Bets. My name's Christina Nicolaides and I have our regular guest with me, editor Sam Dymond from Best of the Bets, and our bookie extraordinaire, it's Gareth Walker from HeavenBet. We've got Sunday's Premier League action to look at and also some of the European games, but we're going to start with the Premier League fixtures for Sunday, and we're going to start with Manchester City versus Liverpool. But before I ask the guys what they think, we're going to hear what Mike Holden has to say.
The City-Liverpool game on Sunday has real potential to be low scoring, I think, because you've got two possession teams, low shot conversion rates. They do tend to take a lot of shots on goal, but don't necessarily get the rewards in points that they should be doing. And I think they could be. It's not to say it'll be a dull game or a boring game. I just think that they'll kind of there'll be a big emphasis on possession, and goal malfaction might be in short supply. Liverpool, of course, went out of the FA Cup last week into Oldham in rather embarrassing circumstances. So they'll be sort of wounded a little bit and from that, and looking to make amends with Rodgers. And City is struggling to score goals at the moment, as they've shown at QPR in midweek. The goals aren't necessarily flowing freely. The first goal's essential. And when they get that, they tend to be comfortable. But I don't think Liverpool's are the kind of team that City will then go and take to the cleaners if they do get the first goal. So I see a cagey encounter in store
there. So Manchester City drew against QPR earlier in the week and haven't lost since Boxing Day, since Sunderland.
Well, no, but you'd expect them to go on these long unbeaten runs throughout the season. But yeah, the 0-0 draw at QPR in the week was a sort of a big blow to their title aspirations, and they could well find themselves 10 points behind Manchester United going into this game. They were very, very fortunate to get a draw at Anfield earlier in the season. It was only thanks to a real boneheaded Martin Skrtel error that got them back into the game to draw 2-2. But I think this one will go their way, but I think it's going to be tight. And what we saw at QPR in the week was they're really struggling to create chances, as Mike said. So I think if they are to win this, they need to get it done early, or they need to score early. Otherwise, the longer the game goes on, the harder it's going to become for them. That's why I fancy Man City half-time, Man City full-time.
Yeah, it's priced at 2.9, and it's a good way of well, as always, you get a better price. Obviously, there's more dependent on more things happening, but rather than just playing the outright win, which is odds on, 2.9 to be ahead at half-time and win the game at full-time. I find it fascinating the way Liverpool are priced up. These prices are very similar to the price that Manchester United were at home to Liverpool. And Liverpool are constantly being priced up as if they're a top 3 or 4 side. If Chelsea went to Manchester City, the price would be very similar. And Liverpool just aren't a top 3 side. They have the potential to be. I've looked at Liverpool in these big games so many times, and I just have to give them a swerve because against the smaller teams, as we've discussed, they're fine, but they still haven't beaten anyone in the top half. The games against the main powers in England, they've played 8 games now and they've drawn 4 and lost 4. So I don't really see any encouragement for Liverpool. I guess the one thing that they will cling on to is that City are not scoring many at the moment. But I mean, defensively they're so solid. So maybe 1-0 at 6.7, 2-0 at 7.4 perhaps.
As Gareth says, Liverpool still not beating anyone in the top half and having thrown away that lead at Arsenal. And you just wonder, that's got to be playing on their minds. It has to become a mentality issue somewhere along the lines, because we know they've got talent in their team.
Another issue Liverpool have is that Jamie Carragher got man of the match against Arsenal. For me, he was terrible. Part of the issue, part of the reason Liverpool were so deep and everything was because Carragher's so slow. He's not the defender that he used to be. So they're just almost inviting teams onto them. And yeah, Carragher is great for a last-ditch block and all the rest of it. But yeah, I've gone off Liverpool.
And Coutinho isn't going to be playing because he's currently injured.
Yeah, I think that could well be a trend with his career over here as well.
Yeah, home win, I think, there, definitely.
2-0.
2-0, which is 7.4.
OK. West Brom versus Tottenham. Now, West Brom, they haven't won since Boxing Day, so they are desperate for their first win of the calendar year. But can they do it?
Well, they're 3.6 to beat Tottenham. The draw is 3.5, and Tottenham are 2.1 to win this game.
Poor form continued again at Goodison Park in the week, and there's no disgrace in losing 2-1 to Everton. But I think the worrying thing with West Brom was that scoreline really flattered them. There was no energy in their team whatsoever. It was a very poor performance. Claudio Yaco's back from injury now, and Yusuf Malumbu is now going to be back from the African Cup of Nations. So those two can reform that partnership that made West Brom so strong at the start of the season. Tottenham.
Well, a couple of weeks ago I was very, very positive and bullish about Tottenham, but I've just got this big worry that Sandro, which we all knew would be a big miss, is going to be an absolutely huge miss. If the answer is to play Scott Parker instead, that seems to be penalising them about half a goal a game. And they were really poor at Norwich for much of the game, and that's a Norwich team that haven't been in great form themselves. I think Tottenham will be good enough to win this game. I think it'll be fairly tight, fairly cagey, and I think Tottenham do just have enough quality. I'll be very interested to see how Holtby fits in, the signing from Schalke.
I think that is a boost to midfield, and that's something they really needed. But, you know, as you say, it's just something odd about Tottenham at the moment. They've drawn the last 3 in the league.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go the same way again. I think this will end 1-1.
1-1, which is 6.7. One thing Holtby certainly will bring to the team is post-it notes. I don't know what that was a bizarre incident when he came on Wednesday.
They are lacking office stationery at Tottenham, so
very useful.
A big help.
Tottenham to win 2-1 is 8. That's the bet I'd go for here.
Obviously, yeah, both teams played in midweek, but you'd like to hope that West Brom's lack of FA Cup game the weekend before will give them a little bit more energy this weekend. Yeah,
it'd be tough finding this win though. It's if they hadn't had such a great start to the season, they'd be looking over their shoulder at the drop. But I mean, they'll be fine. They've got too many points to have any trouble there.
Okay. Remember, for you to place your bets on any of these games and much more, head to our website www.heavenbet.com, and you can now follow us on Twitter at Best of the Bets. So we're going to start looking at the European action, and we're starting with Bayer Leverkusen versus Borussia Dortmund.
Really looking forward. Oh yeah, really looking forward to this one. Leverkusen are 3.4. The draw's 3.6. And Dortmund 2.1. This game's second against third, of course.
Yeah.
I think people will say that whoever loses this will be out of the title race, but I think in truth, neither will catch Bayern Munich this season.
Playing for second place.
So yeah, they're playing for second place, but you know that's a big thing in itself. Bayer Leverkusen, the only unbeaten home team in Germany now this season, so this is a big ask for Dortmund, who have started to click back into gear. So you know, if they're really going to show that they're the sort of the quality side who went on an amazing run in the second half of last season, this is the game to do it. They've won the last 3, they've scored 11 in the process. I'm going to back them to win this one. Confidence
to break that unbeaten home record. I mean, Dortmund's away record itself is fantastic. They've only lost 1 game away from home. The draw at 3.6 is what draws me here. Could well be goals actually. 2-2, which is priced at 11, is a bet that I'm keen on there.
Oh yeah, I think despite Leverkusen's very boring 0-0 draw with Freiburg last week, they are very much an overside this season. I think 13 of their 19 games have gone over 2.5. So I think there'll be goals. Dortmund 3-1 for me.
Dortmund 3-1, which is 13.3.
Okay, we're going to move on to AC Milan versus Udinese, and obviously AC Milan have got the added benefits, or we hope so, of Super Mario.
Well, the Milan nightclubs will be delighted that Super Mario's in town. I thought it was a fantastic bit of business that Milan did.
I'm terrified of the prospect of Mario Balotelli out on the town with Silvio Berlusconi. It's a frightening prospect.
See the headlines now.
Well, they got 20 million for him, but if they'd sold him after the European Championships last summer, they would have got probably double that. That's when his star was.
The thing is, I think it's a transfer now that's been on the card for the best part of the year. I think the club wanted it, and I think Balotelli wanted it.
Yeah.
And you know, this is a big chance for him now. If he can start replicating the performances he's put in for the Italian national team, for his club side, he can really fulfil the talent that he clearly has. But it's a big boost for AC Milan because you know since Ibrahimovic has left, you know, they need a talisman, and they need just a bit of youthful impetus. So many sort of old timers in their team.
Yeah.
They finished second versus third last season, and obviously they both struggled this time around.
Ninth.
Yeah, but both have shown a bit of turnaround in their fortunes lately. So prices.
Milan are 1.6 to win this. The draw's 4, and Udinese 6.5 to win. This is a game that they should win. I mean, Udinese, Di Natale's still going strong for them, but you know, sort of mid-table is about where they deserve to be, really, I'd say, based on the season. So I can't really see beyond a Milan home win. Any scores you fancy?
I like Milan to edge this one. I think it will be a close game. But I think that the thing with Milan and Udinese is they've both lost key players. Sort of every season they seem to lose someone else, so they keep coming back. But Milan, 7 wins now in 9, including the last 4 of the San Siro, and I think it's that home form that's going to see them through here. Milan price is on the short side for me, so I'm going to look at taking Milan half-time, Milan full-time.
which is 2.4. Good idea.
Okay, we're going to move on to Valencia versus Barcelona. Now, Barcelona did lose against Sociedad, so Valencia did get beat by Real Madrid 5-0.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed and frustrated because I was sucked into thinking Valencia had chances in that game, and it was 5-0 at half-time. It wasn't just a 5-0 thumping, it was 5-0 at half-time. And I'm struggling to summon up any enthusiasm for making a case for Valencia winning this, really. They have been strong at home this season, but that game was just diabolical, really. Yeah. They'll be keen to put things right, but if Barcelona did need any extra incentive or any extra kick, perhaps that defeat at
I think Valencia will hope to take advantage of any ill effects of the Clásico game in midweek in the Copa del Rey, but whether that's going to be enough, I don't know, because in their 9 games against teams in the top half this season, they've only fortuitous win against Atletico Madrid, and they failed to score in 6 of those 9 games too. So if Roberto Soldado's not firing up front, they really do struggle for goals. I think it's 11 games and 5 years as well since they beat Barcelona. So you can't really look beyond the league leaders at the moment.
Yeah, I mean Barcelona are so strong that they went off odds-on against Real Madrid in the end. They were a very popular selection. Didn't win, but they got a draw. They're in pole position to get through to the final when they meet again at the end of February. So clinical. They it's difficult to pick holes in Barcelona, really. They're just so good up front.
So prediction?
What are you going?
I'm going to go 3-0 again, and I'm going to stick with Barcelona on the 1-goal handicap.
So we've got 3-0 to Barcelona, which is 10.4, and this way, which I think is the way to play Barcelona. Rather than take the 1.45 about them winning the match, you're getting 2.1 about them on the handicap. They have to win by 2 or more goals, but with Barcelona so irresistible up front, that's the way to go.
Okay, and we mentioned Atletico Madrid. That's what we're going to talk about now versus Real Betis, 2nd versus 5th.
It is, yes. Atletico short for this one, 1.45, same price as Barcelona, in fact. The draw is 4.5. Betis as big as 7.7. 2nd versus 5th, yes. Yeah,
it is. But I think that the thing you have to sort of take your hat off to there is both teams have wildly exceeded expectations on in the season. Yeah. I think Betis sitting 5th is a phenomenal story. Really hovered around the relegation zone last season, and Pepe Mel's done a fantastic job there. Both these teams, after sort of having so much attention bestowed upon them, were both hammered 3-0 last week. Athletic Bilbao, and I think Betis were turned over by Vallecano. So not coming in on the greatest of form. But the thing about Atletico this season is their home form is astonishing. They've won all 11 games. Yeah. It's the best in Europe.
The only thing to say against that, they haven't had Real Madrid or Barcelona in town yet. But even so, it's still
11 wins from 11.
Impressive, yeah.
I think it will continue probably quite convincingly as well.
Yeah, but I mean, they're bang on course to be top dogs in Madrid, which would be a fantastic achievement. Again, it's not overly fantastic to be just tipping up another odds-on shot, but that's the way I see this one. The way I think to play this Atletico game is to actually put it in a double, Atletico and Barcelona. Individually, they're both priced at 1.45, but if you put those together in a double, you're getting odds against. So I think that's a really, really solid bet. I'd be pretty confident of that coming in.
Okay, best bet for Sunday, Gareth.
I'm going to go with that as my best bet, the double. Barcelona and Atletico both to win.
Sam?
I'm going to put my faith in the champions of Germany. I'm going to go with Borussia Dortmund to end by Leverkusen's home run.
Okay, and I'm going to go for AC Milan to beat Udinese.
So that's 1.6. You're going for an odds-on trick. You're looking to break your duck.
Before we wrap up the show, you've got another, or you're going to recap the promotion for us. It's the Super Bowl.
It is the Super Bowl, and in recognition of that fantastic English tradition of staying up all night to watch a game happening many hundred miles away, if you place a bet with HeavenBet and your team is ahead at half-time but doesn't go on to win the Super Bowl, then your losing bet will be refunded.
Sam, you've got a definite excuse to be late now on Monday.
Genuine one.
For you to place your bets on this weekend's games and much more, then head to our website www.heavenbet.com. We are now on Twitter at Best of the Bets, and do tweet us. And if you want to watch this show back, then head to www.theplayerchannel.com/sports. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. Bye bye.